Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott MacKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk, a platform dedicated to industrial professionals all around the world. You are bold, brave, you dare greatly. You are changing lives, and therefore you are changing the world. You're solving problems, and we truly appreciate you on Industrial Talk. We are broadcasting from OMG Q1 meeting here in Reston, Virginia. And it is a collection of problem solvers, individuals that are passionate about making the world better. They do it here. You don't know that they exist, but I'm telling you, you use their products because that's what they do. They're givers, big heart givers. All right, we have two in the seat. One might be leaving soon, so don't be distracted by him. He's creating a lot of tension in my life right now, but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's get cracking.
I do that for everybody.
Do that. Like, oh my gosh. So let's, because your time is short, let's do this. Give us a little background on who you are.
Okay, so I'm Tangi Meyer, so I'm French, and I work for Dassault Systems, and more specifically Delmia, the manufacturing brand from Dassault Systems. I'm a senior strategic planner, meaning that I'm working on anticipating the trend and supporting the developments and business of future product and future market developments for Delmia.
All right, you're next.
I'm Paul Oberly with Dassault Systems.
Yep.
And I'm the lead for the Delmia augmented experience in North America, which is Canada, US, Mexico.
Very good. You know Gon?
I do know Gon. Great guy.
Super guy.
Yeah.
He really is a nice guy. So you having a good meeting?
We have had some incredible meetings, yes, absolutely. I had some overall objectives, blown past those. We've had
kidding.
Yeah, great conversations with specific follow-ups that we're going to be executing on shortly. Yeah.
Tell us what you guys do.
So basically what we do is we use advanced technologies like computer vision, AI, 3D to connect interactively and tangibly the virtual world, the virtual twin, with the real world. That is, we do augmented reality. That is a way to just bring together the real world and the virtual world.
Paul, why is that important?
Because, I don't know, for about 100 years we've been trying to automate manufacturing, and now we're finally connecting the automation with really safe to work opportunities with, basically bringing the digital twin to the production floor. So we're connecting the worker back into this over automation that we expose yourself with the industry 3 and 4.
Again, why is that important? What type of efficiencies? What's the bottom line value to that?
Bottom line is people are able to get things done right the first time. And they're able to execute on quality in a really cohesive manner. And then even in those strange circumstances where you don't understand how to communicate what the problem is, we digitize that tribal information.
There you go, yeah. Yes. If there's a conversation that has happened forever, since the beginning of time, it's that tribal information, people leaving and
yeah.
So before you leave, because I'm going to continue to just sort of, how long have you been with Dassault?
I was part of Diota, which was a startup supporting the industry with augmented reality solution, and we were bought in July 2022. So it's pretty young for me.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
I've known Dassault for quite some time. I've worked with Dassault as a partner,
Sure.
But I've joined Dassault only in July 2022.
With that said, if I was a manufacturer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was a manufacturer, and I go on the World Wide Web, and somebody says I need to have some sort of, digital twin, some sort of way of digitally representing my business. How do I go about making that happen? It all goes around data.
Yeah. So, your product is going to be the product is the foundation for your business.
Hold it. So there he goes. Say goodbye to everybody.
Hey, goodbye everybody. Thanks a lot for having us.
All right.
Good luck, Tangi.
But go ahead.
Your data, fundamentally, your data is the foundation to your business. I mean, I think Elon Musk might have been famous by saying that data is the product. I can't remember if he said that or not, but data is what drives everything. And now we've got CAD, we've got information, we've got IoT, we have enterprise, we have all these different systems. And the trick is, you want to connect all this information into the foundation of the business, what we call the virtual twin.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I was trying to get at. Go ahead.
And so the virtual twin certainly does include CAD, systems engineering, requirements, work instructions. It includes the enterprise at large, workforce, safety, all those different aspects. I mean, it is the business, but the virtual twin is the foundation of that. So it basically allows you to create a structure out of all this unstructured information.
It always, when I hear this, I think of heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Not physically heavy lifting, but heavy lifting, because you're talking about making sure that you have all of the data. That data is accurate. I don't even think the conversation, I mean, you'll have historical data as well, but but it's scrubbed, it's clean, and how do you maintain that cleanliness? It just seems like heavy lifting.
It absolutely is. If you don't have any way of organizing and aggregating it into a unified space. And so for Dassault, what we believe is the foundation is the virtual twin, and we're a 3D company, the 3D experience company.
Yeah.
And so we help articulate these diverse subject matter areas into a holistic view of how the business operates, to the point where we can virtualize your factory, we can simulate 1-to-1 ratio your factory running, even with human factors, ergonomics. And we can consider 5th percentile individuals, unique individuals on a production line doing complex assembly right next to a machine that's picking and placing objects that's automated.
Do you advocate, and I mean in a certain way, advocate that if it's greenfield, let's say I'm just developing a greenfield manufacturing process, whatever it might be.
Yep.
It would seem to me a good step would to be able to create that virtual twin of my facility.
Yes.
Before really any walls and any physical stuff go up, because then I can, and correct me if I'm wrong, take what I've developed in that virtual environment, run the simulations, ensure that my physical will be as efficient as I believe it needs to be before anything is laid out.
Yeah.
I just run it.
Matter of fact, you can do virtual commissioning, which means that you can lay out the plant.
There you go.
You can lay out the plant, you can test the functionality, you can evaluate factory flow in a comprehensive manner, and you can build and run the plant before you spend a penny.
Yeah, see? That to me is just brilliance. And then you start from the perspective that your data, whatever it looks like, whatever it is you'll continue that. It's already clean and scrubbed.
Yeah.
Take us through a scenario where it's more like a brownfield, like I'm already an existing manufacturer. Can I incrementally do it? It doesn't have to be big bang or anything like that?
No, and this is how most companies get started, is brownfield. And so you come in and you kind of augment some change management. You're pulling a line out, putting a new one in. And so you basically, one way of doing it would be to just use your plan drawings, okay? But then you can augment, what you're putting in new with some laser scanning, so you get a 3D point cloud of the factory. Now we can homogenize all this different data into a single interface. We can have your plan drawings, we can have point clouds, we can have CAD, and we can still simulate your plant with all those three elements, even though they're not connected necessarily.
That, again, to me is the value, is the real golden nugget.
Yeah.
Again, you get to the point where you need to get the data. And now, here at OMG, How long you been with OMG?
I don't know.
So you've been involved for...
I've been with Dassault for a while now. I actually don't know how long Dassault has been.
Is this your first meeting that you came to?
Yes.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, mine for, yeah.
You said that you accomplished all of your laid out objectives.
Yeah.
Can you share with us what those were?
I was really interested in speaking with some of the leaders in aerospace that were going to be in attendance that are part of the area members group. An area is the Augmented Reality Enterprise Association. And we're focused on really, proliferating useful, practical augmented reality solutions. And so I've had some deep discussions with each of these different aerospace leaders, in depth about where they found success and how we might be able to help accelerate getting AR from a lab into the production floor.
And I know I'm familiar with a couple of companies that are using a AR solution specifically around planes.
Yeah.
And being able to identify, I mean, it seems safer for me.
Yeah.
It makes me feel more warm and fuzzy when I know that technology is being leveraged in such a way that it does make things safer. And I think, again, the ability to simulate, the ability to be able to leverage AR in a way that gives me greater confidence, trusted confidence, is just the way to go. I mean, it's just the way to go.
So what's really interesting is that if you have a good foundation, you've already got your pipeline. If you do, and I'll go back to the situation where you have no foundation. Okay, we'll go.
There's a lot.
Yeah, but you can still get value quickly.
Okay.
But let's say you have developed a strategy to have a virtual twin or a digital twin of your factory. I mean, you're managing your assets, your product lifecycle management very well. The roadmap to getting that content into the production floor with the right software is almost instantaneous, because you've done the work up front.
Yeah.
You've got the virtual twin, and now as you start dealing with configurations and you start developing work instructions, just by nature of doing that work, which by the way you're going to have to do anyway, you're creating work instructions that are actually now today able or capable with AR. Just because you have some strategy with respect to the virtual twin. That's, with the Delmia, Dassault has many different brands, okay? We've got CATIA, Simulia, Biovia, Delmia. Delmia is all about manufacturing and supply chain optimization. And with that package, you can unify disparate systems, go from E-BOM to M-BOM, work instructions, and we can bring that straight to the production floor. Your CAD, no extra work.
The OMG family, there are a lot of, I probably get this term, working groups that exist in the OMG family. Yeah. But there seems to be a lot of overlap of things, of technology, of standards that can be used from your perspective too. So it works out well to be a part of this organization, just because some of the conversations you're having with me right now, it's tweaking my interest. It's like, hey, have you spoken to or thought about that type of stuff? It just makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, back to basics. If you have no digital twin, you just have CAD and a PLM. Maybe you have no PLM. You can still take your CAD drawings and make them useful on the production floor in a very practical way. Most of our customers don't even know they're using AR. They have no concept. It shouldn't matter. We're just making their work safer, and we're making it more intuitive, and then we're allowing them to start executing on inspection and having a nice piece of traceable evidence that the job is done, it's been done correctly, and they've got an archive.
Yeah, but it's doable.
You can literally, to give you some scale, give me a sub-assembly, and in 30 minutes or less, like an average sub-assembly, like let's say electronics package that goes into an aircraft, in about 30 minutes you can have AR instructions and you can be deploying that on a production floor. That's how fast you can do it with nothing else but your CAD.
With all this said,
Yeah.
And I still believe that we're still at the tip of that iceberg. I mean, things are changing drastically and rapidly. Put your future hat on. Where do you see it going? It just seems like it's good practice to be able to have a digital representation of what we're talking about and being able to run the simulations and optimize. And it's a safety in the AR component. Go ahead.
So AR has been around for a long time,
Yeah.
and it's had many successful use cases for several decades, actually. But one of the stumbling points has been that AR traditionally has been developed around a use case or around a device, rather than a
sort of a holistic,
or agnostic work instruction package that can be deployed in any way. So the problem has always been developing AR with specialized software that's highly customized for a particular device, bringing that device out to the production floor, but not listening and understanding the workflow and the patterns that people use on the shop floor, the actual experts that are doing the manufacturing, whether or not that device meets their requirements. So most companies have done a lot with AR, and they've brought their perspective to the shop floor. And in most cases, there's moderate or perhaps minimal adoption because it didn't include the feedback with how the production floor experts want to work. Based on their understanding, their safety their concepts around safety, workflow, and all this other stuff.
It's always a human equation too,
Yeah.
So, sort of blow our minds a little bit by, I know that that AR has been around, like you said, a lot of good, successful use cases. Got it. Where do you see this outside of manufacturing? Do you see AR being applied in the world of mining, and where do you see it being applied next?
Yeah. So we're pretty focused. We're pretty focused on two main applications. That would be assembly or complex assembly, and inspection, quality control. That's where we're very focused on that right now. I think there's many more applications for augmented reality. What I'm seeing is that AR is becoming the table stakes, the requirement for a next generation manufacturing execution system.
Yeah.
It so happens that in ours it's connected. It's essential, and it's not because the workforce isn't able to do their job. You have to understand, you have an aerostructure with hundreds of brackets, hundreds of different features, and it takes hours upon hours to complete a job. In some cases, you're going through shifts on a single aerostructure. So who's going to keep track of every single one of those brackets? Who's going to keep track of every single bolt? Who's going to keep track of that? It's not because they can't do it. Go home and try to keep track of 150 different brackets in your home.
It doesn't work.
You can try, but you're going to eventually get distracted by someone else who has a higher priority objective right there. So you get pulled away from the job, you go back to your current task, and you're wondering, where did I leave off?
Yeah.
And it's no reason to blame anybody. Let's give people tools that are practical to use, that enable them to get their job done, and we're all going to be happier for it.
So cool. I love it. I really do. Paul, how do they get a hold of you?
Paul Oberly, so paul.oberly@3ds.com.
3DS, that's Dassault Systems.
Yeah, Dassault Systems.
That's right. There it is. You were fantastic. Thank you. I'm glad you guys were so willing to jump on the podcast to talk about what's going on.
It's great to talk to you, Scott.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be wrapping it up on the other side. We're going to have all the contact information for Paul. And what was the gentleman's name?
Tangi Meyer.
There you go. Him too.
Yeah.
He just buzzed out of here, but we'll make sure that he's a part of that that feed. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
That was a great event. OMG, that's the Q1 meeting of just a collection of incredible problem solvers, making our lives better, making businesses more efficient, as well as just making us a success. That's what they're dedicated to. That's what they're focused on. That's OMG. Go out to omg.org. Two individuals that you need to connect with, Paul and Tangi. They are with Dassault Systems, and they're doing some incredible stuff. What I really would like to sort of point out, if you're not collecting data, you need to be doing that. You need to be collecting good, clean, accurate data to make great decisions. Dassault Systems leading the way big time. Reach out to them. Go out to industrialtalk.com. Find out more. All right. We're building a platform dedicated to you. Join it. Industrial Talk. Just join the platform. Talk to me. We'll have a great conversation. Be bold, be brave. Derek Greatly. Hang out with Team Dassault Systems. Change the world. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned.